In this Saturday episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, me and my brother James are doing Rookie Watch Volume 5. We are going to share our thoughts on some of the top rookie performances from Friday night. We got to talk about Zaccharie Risacher's struggles, Tristan da Silva making the most of his opportunity, and Ja'Kobe Walter seeing his first NBA action. Stay tuned. Big shout out to each and every person that's made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe, along with my brother James Barlowe. And before we get into this episode, I want to let you know that it is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Also wanted to let you know about the new Locked On newsletter. Whoever your favorite team is, you can get updated information and the ultimate team and league coverage delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up for free now at lockedondaily.com. That is lockedondaily.com to start your day with the all-new free Locked On newsletter covering your favorite team. So whether it's Locked On Lakers, Knicks, Bulls, Bucks, that should be interesting. Check it out, lockedondaily.com. And if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe to both. But if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, share, comment, click the bell so you can be notified every time we drop, because we're coming at you every day pretty much. It's a Saturday, no days off for the Locked On NBA Big Board crew. All right, let's get started, James.
What's up?
Zaccharie Risacher, the number one pick in the 2024 NBA draft, struggled. He really struggled versus the Kings. He had a good game a couple days before where he had 17 points, but against Sacramento on Friday night, 1 of 9 from the floor, 3 points, 1 rebound, 0 assist. Give it to me. Give me your thoughts on Risacher's struggles.
Well, he made his first shot.
Yes.
And missed his last 8. And he's not making jump shots. He's in that same, I guess you could say, rut that he was in last year in France. I have him shooting 23% on jump shots, which is not good, especially as somebody who came in billed as a shooter. And he's at 40% at the rim, which is also not good at all, considering he's 6'8", 6'9".
Hold on. I want to dig deeper into that number.
Go ahead.
If you take away, I think he had 1 dunk. If you take that dunk away,
he has 2. Yeah, 1 dunk. Yeah,
he's shooting 36% on layups. So I had him at like 40% at the rim. If you take the dunk away, which was in transition, I believe.
Yeah,
he's at 36% on layups.
This was my concern with him. When the jump shot is not falling for him, how does he score? Has he shot a free throw this season? I'd have to look that up, but
yes, he's shooting 58% from the foul line this season.
So was that?
The shooting splits are 31, 22, 58. He's actually attempted 12 free throws this season.
12 free throws. My fault.
7 of 12.
Yeah, he's struggling a lot, and there's going to be what I believe unfair pressure on him because he's the number 1 pick, and you can't help where you're picked. But at the end of the day, he's still the number 1 pick, and he's struggling. I'm not calling him the B word that rhymes with rust because that's crazy. It's only been 6 games.
Too early.
So he's struggling right now. It's a long season. But the thing is with him, he is getting the opportunity to play minutes because the Hawks are banged up. And, he played 20 minutes last night against the Kings. I know he picked up like 3 early fouls in the first half. He was struggling with DeRozan. But just like creating his own shot, he just can't do that right now. And he's jump shot reliant. And when the jump shot isn't falling, how else does he score? It's not looking good for him. But really, the Hawks are – it's not just him, but the Hawks are struggling. They've lost 4 games in a row. They're not healthy. if Trae isn't creating the shot, nobody's creating. Actually, let me not say nobody, because Jalen Johnson is playing well. He can pass, but other than those two, no one else is really putting the ball in the ground and create shots for anybody.
So here's why, in my opinion, Risaché's struggles are a bit alarming. Well, one, he was built as a shooter. I have him at shooting 25% on catch and shoot jumpers and 25% on uncontested catch and shoot jumpers. And when you watch his film or even just watching the games, he's getting good looks.
Yeah.
I would say out of all the players all the rookies that I've watched in this class, Tidjane Salaun, small sample size, Zaccharie Risacher, and Ryan Dunn are getting the best looks.
You could say Dalton Connect too.
Connect is getting good looks, and then Tristan da Silva got some good looks, and we'll touch on him early. But Risacher is getting really, really good looks, good
opportunities,
and minutes. Yes, and so, I mean, I mentioned him a lot during the season. I watched him play, or last season, I should say. I watched him play in person multiple times. Was not the biggest Risacher fan as far as his ability to create shots for himself. I just believe if you're the number one pick, I want someone that I can give the ball to at the end of the shot clock. Never thought that was in his game, but I do think that he's in a really good situation for him to where all he has to do is knock down open shots. He's got a table setter for him, and I think that he's in a good position to succeed. He's just not making shots right now. There was a play where he drove to the rim against DeRozan, and I don't know if DeRozan blocked it from behind or Sabonis blocked it. You're going right.
That was DeRozan, yeah.
It was rejected. Then a few plays later, it seemed like he didn't go up strong or confident. Trae drove baseline. Trae was driving left baseline, dumped it off to Risacher, who was in the paint, and he just kind of like threw up a soft shot, kind of fell, if I'm not mistaken, over Sabonis. So he doesn't look confident in the paint, and the numbers reflect that. I mean, 36% on layups. I mean, he's really struggling. It's early, but I don't know if you could ask for a better situation for a player of his skill set, because he doesn't have to create. He's getting open looks. There's a bunch of injuries on the team. So even if he's struggling, he's going to get minutes, even though I think he was in foul trouble yesterday. He only played 20 minutes. He's got a perfect situation, and he needs to capitalize on that, because at least from what I've seen on social media, the trolls have been more so picking on Alex Sarr. And I think it's because he was so bad in Summer League, but Risacher only played. He didn't play a lot in Summer League or in preseason, if I'm not mistaken. But Risacher he's got to play better. He's got to play better because, like I keep saying, he's got a really good situation. Before we move on to Tristan da Silva, I want to give a shout out to Keaton Wallace, a rookie for the Atlanta Hawks, who has made the best of his situation and his playing time. Wallace had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in 29 minutes. And he's kind of coming out the shadows of being Keaton's brother. Kayson's brother. He's actually Kayson's older brother. But in his last 2 games, I mean, he's played well. In the game against the Wizards, he's played 15 minutes, made all 3 of his field goals, scored 8 points. And when you're a non-drafted player and you kind of like fight for your roster spot, you absolutely have to shine in the minutes that you play. And sometimes you can even shine in the minutes that you play, and you don't get a fair
doesn't
shot.
matter. Yeah.
They gotta they gotta give the opportunities to the guys that are, on guaranteed contracts. But shout out to Keaton Wallace for making the most of his opportunity. My question for you is that we've known Keaton and the Wallace family
since he was in 9th grade, man. Yeah.
For a while.
So old.
Do you think that he's going to continue to get an opportunity once everyone is healthy? Because like we said, he's made the most of his opportunities.
Here's my thing. There is, I guess you'd say, the politics side of it, right? He's a 25-year-old rookie, but Keaton can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. He has a burner. I believe he shot 40% in the G League last year. He was 4-8 last night, and he competes. He can create his own shot. He can make plays. He can pass. Will he get the opportunity? I think so, because they are so banged up. There's no timetable. First of all, the Hawks don't even have a backup point guard, right?
Yeah.
So there's no timetable on Bogdan when he does come back, because usually he's the secondary playmaker. They got Jalen Johnson. He was basically playing point guard last night. Dyson Daniels, I don't know how long he's out. So he's going to get opportunities. He made some defensive plays on De'Aaron Fox last night in that game. And like, De'Aaron Fox is one of the toughest covers in the NBA. So shout out to Keaton. I know he his journey to get here has been up and down, because in college they told him to go get major buckets. I think he scored like 2,000 points in college. Then he had his stint with the I believe the Clippers, and he was a catch and shoot guy. And now he's like playing point guard, which I think he's always been, but he's getting an opportunity. So shout out to him.
Yep. Shout out to Keaton Wallace making the most of his opportunity. And speaking of making the most of their opportunity, in the second segment, we're going to touch on Tristan da Silva. We had talked about him a couple of times in previous episodes about him not playing. I mentioned that I just didn't think that there was a path for him to play. But with Paolo Banchero being out, Tristan da Silva got an opportunity to get some minutes on the floor. So we'll talk about da Silva when we return. But before we get on to the second segment, let's talk about FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, which is America's #1 sports book. Because right now, at this moment, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, and it's all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more, and it is on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet, and that is only at FanDuel.com. All right, Tristan da Silva. We had just talked about him. I don't know. We do
like
every day. What's that?
He looked like a DeBarge brother.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, it's like his media day photo. It definitely doesn't look intimidating. He does look like like a member of the El DeBarge family. But da Silva had 17.5 rebounds and 2 assists. I will say that he scored 9 of his 17 in like the last 3 minutes. I wasn't actually watching the game. I was down in Waco last night for a Hall of Fame induction ceremony, but I was checking my phone for the stats, and I knew that I would watch the games early this morning when I got back. And I remember just looking at his stats like, oh my gosh, he's playing. He's getting an opportunity. And then I looked at him at the end of the game like 17 points. So when I watched, I saw that he made some plays early, but I want to say 9 of the 17 came in like the last 3 minutes and 43 seconds of a blowout loss to the undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers. But he made the most of his opportunity, which is what you expect. 23-year-old rookie. He does have some tools that I think can help Orlando. I think there's some teams that he could help. It's just if Banchero is playing and Orlando's at full strength, he's going to be buried on the bench. But what were your thoughts on da Silva's performance?
He hit his first, even though he did, get some significant mop-up duty. But I think he hit his first 3 shots, and they were, being fed by Jalen Suggs, fed by Franz Wagner. I think he should play since, obviously with, Banchero being out, because he stretches the floor and he can shoot. And you're going to ask for Jalen Suggs to not just be a 3-and-D shooting guard. He's going to have to put the ball on the ground. I think he had a career high like 28 last night, or it was at 28 at one point. So his usage is going to go up. Anthony Black's usage is going to go up. Franz's usage is already going to be high anyway. So I think you really have to play da Silva. You drafted him high. It's going to be between him and Jet Howard for those minutes. But yeah, da Silva can shoot. He can roll. He does a lot of really good things. So the time is now for him.
Yeah, I mean, he just knows how to play basketball. He had a play where he scored. I guess it was like a brush screen. Had a drive to the rim, and then had an offensive rebound putback. Again, it's all about opportunity. He wasn't getting the opportunity when Banchero was playing, which it's kind of hard to move Banchero off the bench the way he's been playing. And a lot of rookies, and we've said it every episode, a lot of rookies just aren't getting an opportunity. But when you do get that shot, you literally have to excel because you don't know when the next one is coming. And at least for him, he knows that with Banchero being out for, I guess, an undisclosed amount of time, that he is going to get an opportunity. All right, let's switch over to Ron Holland. Ron has been getting an opportunity. He has been getting consistent minutes off the bench for the Detroit Pistons. Ron had 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist against the Knicks. I thought Ron has played well. It's just there's one area he is not making jump shots.
I want to say it's 2 areas. He is 1 for 12. And I don't want to keep harping on it because he's been really effective when he's played, and he's turned the ball over. Like he was throwing the ball away like crazy last night. But like I said, if Ron gets a step, Ron is gonna make a play. He banged on, I think that was Huck Porty last night. He caught him in transition, did a couple chin ups on the rim. He had another nice play in transition, or not transition. I'm sorry. Jericho Sims closed out on him real hard. I don't know why you closed out on Ron, but hey, it's late in the game. Scout reports, they fade away. But he closed out. Ron blew by him, had a nice Euro step on, I believe, Pacome. So Ron shows flashes. Ron gets to the basket, but just Ron can't shoot right now. But again, you give him 16 minutes, he's going to get you 6 and 3.
Yeah, he's going to score. He's going to find a way to score in transition. And Ron is like the opposite of Cody Williams in a sense.
By far.
If you give them the same amount of minutes, Ron is going to find a way to get 2 transition dunks, 2 transition plays.
Yo, we got that. That is a skill in itself where you can sit here and say, you know what? We don't got to draw up a play for him. He's going to find a way to put pressure on the rim and make a play. And like you said, him and Cody are just night and day at that.
I just think that with Ron, it's his ceiling. And I mean, I'm not saying anything that, profound right now, but his ceiling is going to be based on how well he can shoot. If he can just become an average shooter, he's going to be good. But right now, like even with back to preseason, 2 for 24 on jump shots. Not 3-pointers, just jump shots. However, Ron is shooting 77.8% at the rim. And all I can think of is how efficient he is at the rim. I mean, if there's some guys that are still making the mistake of closing out on him, he can just make you respect him as a shooter with his first step, his athleticism, and his determination to get to the rim and finish with authority. I think Ron is going to be good. The struggles are pretty much what I predicted. Because he plays with such a great motor, he doesn't have the best pace, which is going to lead to turnovers and him playing fast. But I had my thoughts about the pick. I didn't think it was the best pick for Detroit based off of what's on their roster. But they have to believe in their player development. I think Fred Vinson, the guy that is kind of known for helping guys become better shooters, is on their staff, if I'm not mistaken. But Detroit must feel comfortable in their player development staff and how they believe that they can turn Ron into a shooter. But I like what I've seen so far, but we knew what we were going to get from Ron. Yeah. You're going to get maximum effort, transition finishing. Even on the defensive end, if he's a little undisciplined and going for steals, that he's going to compete. And that's all you can ask for.
They are Detroit 1-5 right now, right? And, obviously it's only 6. They have 76 games left. But there's going to be a point in the season, unfortunately, sorry, Detroit fans, where you're like, all right, man, what are we doing? Why are we playing Tim Hardaway Jr.? Why are we playing Malik Beasley? Why are these guys? Yeah, why are we playing these guys? And
I
are
know
we going
why.
to?
You're playing them to help Cade out. You just paid Cade $200 million, and you need to play those guys so he's not playing in the phone booth. So,
No, I 100% get that, but at what point in the season, if things continue to go the way that they're going, do you say, all right, Ron, we got to boost you from 16 minutes to 22 minutes? That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I agree. I just think that
Maybe not both of them because you paid Tobias, right? Both of them being Beasley and Hardaway Jr., but I can't see both of them on the roster at the end of the year, is
I
what I'm trying
can.
to say.
I think they're there to set the tone as far as culture. You can't have a bunch of young dudes running around.
I mean, you got
So,
Tobias. Tobias is like a 25-year veteran
and
somehow,
he's
and he's
still
like
like probably only like 30.
35.
I don't think he's 35. He's 32.
Man, Tobias been in the league so
He
long.
came in. He was a freshman at Tennessee when he was 17.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But no, I think they're going to be there just because you want to establish culture. That's what Bickerstaff is trying to do. I think they are going to have to bump Ron's minutes up, and maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. is the guy.
I just think one of them is going to be out.
Hardaway shooting 40,
I'm not
48% from three this year. So I don't know if that's sustainable. Actually, Tim usually gets off to a slow
smoking
start.
hot start every year.
I thought it was a slow start.
Nah, I think he starts off hot every year. I mean, the Pistons guys aren't, the old guys they brought in aren't necessarily playing bad. I mean, like, Malik Beasley shooting 37%. Like, they're doing their job. It's not equating to wins.
Yep. All right. When we return, we got to talk about Tidjane Salaun, Donovan Clingan, Yves Missi, and Jacoby Walter getting his first opportunity in NBA action. But before we get into the last and final segment, let's talk about Game Time, which is my favorite app when it comes to purchasing tickets. And Game Time tickets are not just for sports. It's for concerts, comedy, theater, and more. What I love about the Game Time app is that it has all-in pricing. You can toggle the feature on the app, and it will show you the total price up front so you don't get any surprise fees at checkout. Game Time, the app also gives you a panoramic view of the seat, so you know exactly where you're sitting and your view before you buy. And Game Time has the lowest price guarantee. If you find something cheaper, they will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. All right. Last segment, Tidjane Salaun, a favorite of ours, because Tidjane is going to bring you, he's like the most exciting catch and shoot player in the league.
Tidjane
It is said because when he's on the floor, the ball is like a hot potato. If he catches it, it is going up. And Tidjane, I would say this was his first real action.
Yes.
His first real action, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Share your thoughts with Tidjane. I got a funny one if you don't beat me to it.
Did you see what I texted you before we went live?
I saw it.
Tidjane, he shot the ball in the second half. He shot a trailing 3 with 18 on the clock with probably, I want to say he's about 4 or 5 feet behind him. He was a step in from the logo. Like, and it wasn't after he made 2 of them. Like, I think he made 1 before, but this was a while ago. And like, he's just not afraid to get him up.
He's not afraid to get him up.
He understands who he is, and he's gonna get him up. That's not a good shot, but that's Tidjane, man. It's a good shot if he can touch the ball. It's a good shot.
So let me explain the whole play that makes it even funnier to me. Well, first of all, his first shot, caught it, let it fly. It was like from the wing and it like hit the backboard. And we've said in time, like, my man is like a good shooter, but his touch is inconsistent. And this was an example of, I mean, I don't know how you hit the backboard.
He's
from
good
slide.
for a couple of bricks a night.
Then he made 2 catch and shoot threes. So the play James is referring to, I'm gonna paint the picture. First of all, the Charlotte crowd was hyped for it to be an early season game, and I mean the buzz was back, huh? It was against the Celtics, but the buzz was in the arena because the crowd.
See you, Ralph, lyrical. The buzz in the arena. I see you.
I mean, I stayed there briefly, so I wouldn't say that I made that up. I heard it before. Okay. So Charlotte is competing with the Boston Celtics. The score is 85. Let me look this up. The score is 85-80. So they're hanging in there. Drew Holiday gets a steal.
Oh, yeah.
He somehow misses the dunk. Tidjane gets the rebound, passes ahead to whichever Martin twin is playing for Charlotte.
I can't tell them apart either.
So passes the ball ahead. Martin dribbles up the floor and then hits Tidjane trailing. I don't think the intention was for him to catch it inside the Hornet, like the wing of the Hornet, just inside of half court to let it fly. I think maybe it was to, pass it to him, and then maybe it turns into a DHO.
Yeah, because I want to say that's Trae Mann in the corner. Trae Mann had it going last night. Trae Mann is cold.
Trae Mann is real good.
Yeah.
But Tidjane caught it. And when I say hot potato, let it fly from, I mean, like his feet are just inside the wing of the Hornet. But that's Tidjane. Later on in the game, he made a transition 3, but he rebounded. That was one of my concerns with him, is that he didn't necessarily rebound. The one thing that I would like to see from him is he's a good athlete. He's a good athlete.
Is he?
Just doesn't protect the rim or just doesn't get a lot of defensive stats. He's literally catch, shoot, let it fly. He's instant offense. But I want to see him become a better rebounder, which he has shown some flashes of that in the preseason, and just get some blocks or some steals or get his hand on the ball and on defense.
I don't know if he's a good athlete, but he's kind of stiff.
He's a vertical athlete, like straight up and down vertical athlete. I wouldn't say like he's super like shifty or flexible or, I mean, athleticism is more than running and dunking, but
the running part of it,
he's straight up and down. He's stiff. He doesn't have he's not the most fluid. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
But he can shoot.
He can shoot. I think Charlotte's going to be – I think they're actually going to be good this year. Once they get Brandon Miller back, I think if Melo's on the floor with Ingram and not Ingram, Brandon Miller, Trae Mann is giving them offense off the bench. And Tidjane is a guy that you have to account for when he's on the floor because he can get hot and he is a threat. He is a threat. He is a threat to score. All right, Donovan Clingan didn't play a lot of minutes. But in the minutes he played, he's
going to get you 6-7 rebounds in 12 minutes every single night. One thing I will say, and shout out, he's not on the rundown. Shout out to Dillon Jones. He scored his first NBA points last night too. He was playing small ball 5, and Clingan had to guard him. And you could tell, like, Clingan that he hadn't seen anything like that as far as defending somebody who's probably like 6'5" in space. But, Clingan is going to be productive in the minutes that he does get. It's just a matter of when will they be able to open up minutes for them. And, like, Portland is competitive. It was like 68-68 at halftime in that game last night at one point. Ended up being a blowout. Oh, yeah. But, like, they're going to be, I guess you could say, fake competitive for a while. And it'd just be interesting to see how they are like. Who did we just talk about minutes opening up for? Was it Atlanta? Like they're the opposite of Atlanta. Like there are no minutes for Clingan right now, like the minutes that he should be getting. But again, when will they like make moves? Because you have to think. I don't think Scoot's going to play off the bench the whole season. Shaedon Sharpe is eventually going to come back, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Could Clingan lead the NBA in rebound if he got 25 to 28 minutes per game? At the rate that he's rebounding now, I think it's in the discussion. He's averaging 6 rebounds per game in 12 minutes, 12.7 minutes. So let's just say you double that.
Let me stop you there. In 12 and also 12.7 minutes, he's averaging 2.7 fouls. So you can't rebound from the bench if you're hacking. So could he lead the league in rebounding if he played 22 minutes a game? He could probably average about 10, but he's going to have about 5 fouls too. So it's like there's some giving, some taking that.
At what point does Portland say, you know what? Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey or whoever, VJ Edgecombe, would look good in the Blazers uniform. We need to go for them. Let's give Clingan his 26 minutes a game. And if he fouls out, fouls out.
But where do you, we talked about this last night on the phone. Where do you see DeAndre Ayton? Who needs a center right now?
I don't know.
And DeAndre Ayton getting paid.
Yeah, I have no idea. And I mean, Ayton always puts up solid numbers on paper. Again, I don't want to say that it's empty calories or empty stats because he did start on a team that went to the finals. His game, you just feel like he has the talent to like
leaving food on the table, man,
to dominate like he says he is. All right, let's talk about Yves Missi. 4 points, 10 rebounds. He might be the first rookie to grab over 10 rebounds in a game this year.
I think so. Wrong.
4 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block. And I want to say that one of his points was a nasty poster.
Yeah, he caught a body.
What were your thoughts on Missi's performance?
Yeah, he had 6 offensive rebounds. He did bang on Miles. I mean, Miles will give you an opportunity to post him because he's trying to block everything. The most impressive thing that I saw from him last night, he had a finish in the paint that was not a dunk. It was a Zion drive late in the game. I think under a minute left. I think they were up like 3 at the time, maybe 5. But he finished a layup in traffic. And that was a big play because New Orleans needed that win last night. You know, the sports writers, the fans, they're not really feeling. They lost to Golden State twice, missing everybody. So that was a big moment for him. My thing with Yves is just that, like, you can tell that he needs pure point guard play because he's another one that, I mean, at the rim, he's shooting 51% and he has 10 dunks. He's missed 3 dunks this year, but he has 7 dunks. And he's shooting 51% at the rim. So, like, that is concerning because he is 100% a play finisher, but, like, finishing in traffic is inconsistent. He'll show flashes. Again, he had that play last night. Clutch play he finished. I think the game 1, he had a couple nice finishes, but he's missing a lot of shots at the rim. And it's only going to get worse because you got to play with Zion, and Zion is going to be at the rim with you. So you're at least going to have your defender, Zion's defender, and somebody else because Zion attracts 2 people.
Yeah, but I mean, that's expected. I never thought he was like a great finisher. Still a little raw on his non-dunk finishes, but he's getting opportunity and he's making an impact. And so I definitely want to see him get more time. All right. Real quick, let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder rookies. They got some time. And well, Dillon Jones got an opportunity in the blowout win against Portland. But AJay Mitchell continues to surprise me, not as far from a talent level, but surprise me as far as like the minutes that he is getting. He had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, not major numbers, but AJay Mitchell played 17 minutes a game. Or 17 minutes this game, was efficient, 3 of 6 from the floor. And he is, I mean, he's been good. He is shooting 47.6% from the floor, 60% from 3, even though it's not a lot of attempts. And he has found a way to crack the rotation. So I'm happy for him. And we touched on this in a previous episode. And I'm actually surprised that he is getting this much time. But lastly, let's talk about Jacoby Walter. Made his debut, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, but he really struggle from the floor, which you can expect. I mean, he's rusty. He had been out with a shoulder injury. Was there anything you saw from him? And no need to overreact because it's one game, but was there anything that you saw from him that caught your attention?
Yeah, man, he brought a lot of energy. He was very active on the glass. He was, competing. Maybe the game was really fast for him because, again, it was his first game. He didn't play in the preseason, I don't believe. He took shots. He missed shots. Obviously, they were good shots, but, Ja'Kobe Walter is going to take time, and he's going to get the opportunity to play because, hey, if you got dollar signs by your name and you play for the Raptors, they will sit you down for a little bit. So, shout out to Ja'Kobe Walter. Hey, we talked about it in the season for him last year at Baylor. Somehow that dude finds a way to get fouled. So he shot 4 free throws last night. So yeah, shout out to Ja'Kobe Walter. I think it was 3 free throws. He got fouled on the end.
Well, that wraps up this Saturday episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast. Once again, thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Now, again, go to lockedondaily.com and check out the Locked On newsletter covering your favorite team. Again, thank you for making this your first listen, or thank you for checking us out on a Saturday. This is Rafael Barlowe along with my brother James, and we are out of here.